This is 27 News First at 11.
Local fashion experts lend a hand for a special event to raise awareness against bullying.
2 bank robberies in one day. Are they connected?
Investigators look at the actions of a school bus driver after a crash that left several students injured.
A toddler is hit in Clay County. The man behind the wheel never even knew he hit the child. 27 News First at 11 starts now.
Good evening to you. Tonight, a toddler is dead and a man in jail after he's accused of drinking and taking drugs before getting behind the wheel.
23-year-old Bobby Sester faces a manslaughter charge. Investigators say he was leaving a friend's house in Clay County when he ran over a 13-month-old girl. Our Tim Johnston talked with family members in tonight's top story.
You couldn't ask for a better little grandbaby. I loved her so much.
The family of this 13-month-old girl take one look at her favorite toys and weep. Earlier this evening, the small child they call their angel died after being hit by a car.
She'd just smile right big.
Did not see the child. Started to move the vehicle and struck the child.
It was here in the child's own driveway where the man hit her, never even knew. He later admitted to police that he had been drinking, even taking prescription drugs.
The driver of the vehicle was given field sobriety test. We did ask him and did receive blood from him.
Investigators say Bobby Sester Jr., a family friend, allegedly hit the toddler with the front tire of his car.
It's terrible. I'm telling you, it's terrible.
Sester is now behind bars in Clay County on a manslaughter charge, while the family of the toddler says they will miss their little angel with the bright eyes. In Clay County, Tim Johnston, WKYT 27 News First.
After the child was hit, the family rushed the toddler to an ambulance. She was later pronounced dead at Manchester Memorial Hospital.
Tonight, investigators say a school bus driver pulled out in front of a pickup, causing a crash that injured several students in Laurel County. That crash happened on US 25, about 2 miles south of London. Investigators say the bus had been stopped on Fairston Road and pulled onto Highway 25 into the path of the truck. The bus driver has been identified as 53-year-old Linda Floyd. She was not hurt, but 7 students were taken to the hospital for treatment for minor injuries. The driver of the pickup, 19-year-old Anthony Wagers, had to be airlifted to UK Hospital, but he has been treated and released tonight. Well, tonight, police think 2 bank robberies that happened less than an hour apart in Lexington and Richmond may have been committed by the same person.
Now take a look now at these surveillance pictures. The man in the black jacket and Nike hat robbed the Fifth Third Bank at Hamburg Pavilion a little after 4 o'clock. Then, just before 5 o'clock, a robbery happened at the Chase Bank in Richmond. Same hat, but no jacket. As Kristen Kennedy reports, police are trying to see if it's the same guy.
The descriptions are similar, and police say you could go from one spot to the other in 30 minutes' time. That's why they are looking into the possibility that the same man robbed both banks.
A male white subject in his early 40s wearing a jacket that had a Nautica insignia on it and a Nike hat.
Robbers wearing the same hat, having almost identical features.
He had wire-rimmed glasses. He had gray hair about collar length in the back.
The robbers are so similar, Lexington and Richmond police are working together to determine if it's the same man. He first hit the Fifth Third Bank on Pleasant Ridge Drive in Lexington around 4 Thursday afternoon. And right before 5, this man shows up at the Chase Bank on the Eastern Bypass in Richmond.
Entered the business and demanded money.
In Lexington, police say he told a teller he had a gun. In Richmond, they say he handed over a note demanding cash.
He implied he had a weapon, and we believe that he was probably intoxicated.
Thursday afternoon, right after the first robbery, Lexington police were searching area businesses, seeing if he left a trail. If it's the same man, he was already on his way to Richmond.
We're not sure whether he left in a car or not. We're checking surrounding businesses now for video evidence and those type of things to maybe help narrow it down for us.
Richmond police believe the man that robbed this bank left in a black Toyota Highlander. In Madison County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT 27 News First.
And so far, there have been no arrests.
New tonight, an inmate who was supposed to get out of jail in just 3 weeks is wanted for escape. Police tell us Joseph Wilson had a court-ordered pass and was supposed to return to the Fayette County Detention Center today, but didn't show up. He was on jail on a contempt of court charge and was set to be released on December 2nd. Wilson is 42 years old, stands 6'4", and weighs about 160 pounds. Well, get ready. It will feel like December come tomorrow morning. Get ready. We are dipping into the 20s overnight.
I thought it felt like that tonight. You must have had a really heavy coat on because I thought it was just freezing out there. Live look now outside at the sky camera, and it's already cold out there. As I just mentioned, a few folks might even see, are you kidding me, some snowflakes tonight? Yeah. Is that true? All right. Chief Meteorologist T.G. Shuck is tracking all of this. Let's move the camera around so we can see him, and maybe the camera's frozen inside the studio.
It might be, you never know. Yeah, there were a few snowflakes early across the southern part of Indiana, just north of Louisville this afternoon, but with temperatures already into the mid and upper 30s and some cloudiness and a little bit of moisture hanging over the region. Wouldn't be shocked to see that this evening. No big deal, though, but it just proves that November weather is back, at least for now. Live First Alert Defender, and you can see here up around Moorhead toward Ashland, a little bank of moisture there, and that could, again, squeeze out a stray snowflake or two. But other than that, a lot of this moisture just not reaching the ground. We've had some of that cloud cover kind of fill back in here in the bluegrass and points to the north. We've got that wave of energy. It's kind of rotating on the south side of the main surface low, which is well to our north, into the southern part of Canada. 38 Lexington, 39 in Frankfort, 39 in Danville, 35 in Jackson. So it's a little cooler down to the south. I think those clouds kind of holding us at bay for now, but that's going to change. Should clear it out. So a very cold start, mid-upper 20s, back into the upper 30s by mid-morning. I think comparable highs tomorrow, but the weekend may see a nice warm-up on the way. We'll talk about it coming up.
There's an old familiar saying about sticks and stones and how names will never hurt you, but we really know that's not the case. Bullying can cause lasting harm.
And it can come in many forms, face-to-face, by text message, or on the web. But tonight, Lexington students came together to help each other take a stand and overcome a common problem.
Oh, go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
With one day to go before the big event, it's down to the finishing touches.
How many apples did you get for me?
For an unconventional fashion show featuring models who have all experienced bullying.
I've been bullied pretty much since kindergarten. It does not feel good.
Event organizers urged Tabitha to take her first turn as a model in the hopes of showing her she has a place in the world of beauty and glamour.
No one understands how it feels unless they've really been bullied themselves.
People used to make fun of me. They were like, oh, your hair and your eyebrows and you're so tall. But a lot of the people that you see that are so successful ended up getting bullied all through school.
That was the case for 17-year-old model Lexi Stevens. That's why she helped put together the I Am fashion show to help mentor younger kids who are going through some of the same things that still haunt Lexi to this day.
They were just so mean. They were horrible. It was a really bad experience.
In addition to Lexi, more than a dozen volunteers from the local fashion industry, including hair and makeup artists, have pitched in to raise awareness of this growing problem and to boost self-esteem in bullying victims.
I hope that they're not as intimidated by people, by what people say and what people do to them, because it hurts, but you need to not let it affect you.
I know I have been bullied, but I'm going to feel good about myself.
I'll be able to say, like, I walked up, I was a model, I was pretty, and no one can make fun of me for that.
In Lexington, Gabriel Rojas, WKYT 27 News First.
A very bold stand, that's for sure. Organizers hope this event will be just the first step in a wider campaign. The I Am fashion show will be tomorrow night at the Baptist Church at Andover on Todd's Road. It starts at 7 p.m. It's open to the public and admission is free.
It's called a Welcome Center, a first stop for drivers who come into Kentucky from Tennessee, but a stop on I-75 became the scene of a road rage incident that turned into a shooting. Investigators say an argument between two truckers escalated to the point that both felt that they needed to pull over and get out of their trucks to settle their differences. Police say that both were armed initially with sticks, but after one man got hit, police say he pulled out a gun and fired.
Over an argument on the CB or something, I guess on a back road or something, one person can get around another. It was road rage is what I figure it is, but I don't know.
The shooting victim was taken to the hospital. His injuries, though, not said to be life-threatening. Police did not arrest or charge the shooter. They say that will be up to a grand jury. Lexington police believe they have one man in custody for 2 shootings, including a murder that happened during a string of shootings in Lexington last month. Lexington police say that 24-year-old Clark Young Jr. shot a man outside a home on Elm Tree Lane on October 11th. The victim in that deadly shooting was 34-year-old Vincent Miles. Police tell us that Young is also charged for another shooting the day before, which injured 2 people on Whitney Avenue. The city created a task force to address the rash of shootings last month. 10 people were shot during an 8-day span.
For the first time since an accident took his daughter's life, Mercer County Sheriff Ernie Kelty is talking about the tragedy. 17-year-old Alyssa Kelty was killed last month after a car collided with an SUV on US 68 outside of Harrodsburg. Deputies who responded to the crash recognized the car and called the sheriff to the site.
She loved her friends, she loved being with all her friends. She was, especially, here in the last few months when she got her driver's license.
Sheriff Kelty has established a fund in his daughter's name that will go toward a scholarship for Mercer County High School students. Already more than $2,000 has been raised.
It sounds like a tourist trip, but you'll see why a 2-day bus tour will play a vital role in the success and growth of Central Kentucky.
You may be carrying around a fortune right inside your own body. We'll take a look at how you can cash in.
Much cooler air here in central and eastern Kentucky on this Thursday. You can really feel it out there this evening. A little mid-level wave scooting through the region, so as a result, some cloud cover. We've had a few sprinkles in the east and maybe even just a stray snow flurry or 2 with a bank of clouds here in the bluegrass and points to the east. Live First Alert Defender, you can see some of that up toward Moorhead, running up around Vanceburg, Lewis County, just off to the west of Ashland. But the majority of this stuff kind of weakening out once we lost the quote-unquote heating of the day. But as we go through the overnight, the clouds that are out there now should begin to break apart and diminish. It's not having too much of an impact on temperatures. We still continue to cool down, and once this little bit of cloudiness moves out, we should head through the low 30s and even into the mid and upper 20s by tomorrow morning. 38 Lexington, 39 in Frankfort down to Danville. Notice where it is cleared off in Covington, it is 34. So some pretty chilly air across much of the region. So it promises to be a cold start tomorrow. Now, by mid to late morning, we should be back in the 40s, and I think by noon, upper 40s, so it's going to be pretty comparable as far as our afternoon highs tomorrow. One thing to keep in mind, along and north of I-64, may see some of that scattered cloud cover develop again during the afternoon. 33 to start today, 51 for the afternoon high. Combination of that west wind and the full sunshine before the clouds develop help us to top the 50-degree mark, 58 and 39. The average high and low. So on the surface, that front that ushered in the cooler air, it is now to the east. Little wave of energy now in the eastern part of the Ohio Valley. High pressure is off to the southwest, and that will be the big player for the early part of the weekend. It is down here to our south, and it's really going to work to our advantage. Given the cold start in the morning, probably highs around 50 or so tomorrow, even with some sunshine. But as that south flow really picks up, rolling into Saturday, that's one of the reasons we are going to jump up relatively quickly. So we go from 50-ish either side of it, depending on the amount of cloud cover that you see in your particular area on Veterans Day, jumping up close to 60 on Saturday. It's going to be a little windy, it looks like, second half of the weekend. Front gets a little closer, and by Monday and more so into Tuesday, we'll increase those rain and storm chances. So it's chilly out there this evening, already down in the 30s, and it will be even colder tomorrow morning. So do keep that in mind for the early birds out there for school and work.
Have you started your car yet?
No, I haven't done it. I think I'm going to sit this one out.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
We know you. We were just checking.
Kidding.
All right. Well, let's warm your heart with this. Is this not beautiful? It's a beautiful shot out of Mount Sterling.
And that says fall all over it. Our shot of the day comes to us from Paulette lawn singer. Paulette, thank you so much for sharing this great photo. And you too can share your eyewitness pictures and video. Just email them to eyewitness@wkyt.com or upload them to us through Facebook or Twitter. We could all use a little extra cash, right?
You may have access to a lot of extra money right under your skin. And here are the latest lottery jackpots. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $22 million. Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $35 million. A group with Commerce Lexington got a taste of bluegrass history tonight with a tour of prestigious Claiborne Farm.
A delegation of about 50 business and community leaders took part in a special two-day bus tour. It was designed to help create regional success through partnerships in education, government, and tourism.
The problems that we have in education, trying to increase access, trying to better students and their lives in their communities, we can do that a whole lot better if we cooperate. So we learn more about other parts of the state, about the issues that are similar and different, and it just creates partnerships that will help the Commonwealth be better altogether.
The tour included visits to the L8 bottling plant in Winchester, Morehead State University, the Paramount Arts Center in Ashland, and Caproni's restaurant in Maysville. It wrapped up in Paris with a visit to Claiborne Farm, the final home of Triple Crown winner Secretariat.
If you missed 27 News First at 6 tonight, you missed quite an investigation. We looked at how people make money from selling things from their bodies. If accepted, a sperm donor can earn up to $200 per specimen, and an egg donor up to $10,000 in some cases. Plasma donors can make about $150 a week. But walking in off the street to donate sperm or eggs can be a highly competitive process. Less than 5% of applicants are accepted.
We're looking at people that are well educated, they have a good family tree, no genetic deficiencies, no problems.
You can watch the whole report on our web channel, WKYT.com.
Very interesting, to say the least. Well, Rob's up next, and the Cats are set to open the season.
They get it started off tomorrow night against MARIST, but what about the big game looming next week? And in the KSTV Minute, a big recruiting catch.
Next, Kentucky gets a big commitment from Alex Poythress. I'll tell you more about the player and what he means for Kentucky's future.
There was suspense because no one was quite sure where Alex Poythress was headed, but it ended this afternoon at his high school when he picked the Kentucky Wildcats. Poythress out of Clarksville, Tennessee, goes 6'7". He is a five-star recruit, picking UK over Memphis, Vanderbilt, and Florida. He joins five-star prospect Archie Goodwin and four-star prospect Willie Cauley in Kentucky's class of 2012. Now, how big a catch is this for Cal and the future of the UK program? For that, we turn to Matt Jones in the KSTV Minute.
As Kentucky basketball fans, we've become spoiled over the last 3 years as John Calipari has basically gotten every recruit he's wanted. But today's decision by Alex Poythress to become the third member of the 2012 class is huge for the future of the program. A lot of people didn't want to talk about it, but the 2012 class was becoming somewhat nervous for people in Lexington as a lot of the top players had gone in other directions and there weren't a lot of great players left. The Cats got Archie Goodwin and Willie Cauley, but Alex Poythress' decision to become the third member today is huge for the future. There are very few elite talents in the 2012 class and only a couple left deciding in the spring. Calipari getting Poythress today means the class will be at least the second best class in America, and if they get Shabazz Muhammad, will once again be the #1 class. Calipari's system requires talent and lots of it. Had they not gotten Poythress, it might be time to be worried. But once again, Calipari comes through. I'm Matt Jones, and this is the KSTV Minute on WKYT.
Thanks, Matt. Everything counts starting tomorrow night as the Cats open the season against MARIST. It is the beginning of Coach Cal's third year. Expectations are through the roof. It'll be a challenging pre-conference schedule that will really pick up next week when the Cats play Kansas.
I'm not worried about Kansas. I'm just worried about my team. And all I want to see is us play with great intensity. I want to see us continue to play unselfish and do those things. And if they do those things, that's all I can worry about. But I'm not getting ahead of myself worrying about anybody else or any other team. We know our schedule is very demanding. We know that, and each game in its own right will be hard.
MARIST was working out tonight in Rupp. This is a young team that is coached by Chuck Martin. He was an assistant for 2 seasons under Calipari at Memphis. What is the one thing he remembers most about Cal?
Ability to manage people. He does a tremendous job, and he's a really good coach, and he's really good with the X and O's, and he gets the kids to play hard. But I think the thing that separates him from the other coaches at any level is his ability to get people to buy in every day, and I think that makes him different.
Tip-off tomorrow night will be at 7 o'clock. We will bring you the game on a delayed basis right here at 11:35 Friday night. Our pregame Wildcat warm-up will begin at 6:30. And Rowan County quarterback and guard Adam Wing heading to Evansville. Wing had originally committed to Oklahoma State to play for Travis Ford. That agreement fell through when Ford asked him to attend a prep school for a year after picking up other commitments. Wing reopened his recruitment and picks Evansville over Tennessee Tech, Wofford, Indiana State, Moorhead, and Jacksonville. That'll do it for sports. We'll wrap it up after this.
I was out with the diabetes folks for the BD Mongolian's Grill, learning how to cook.
Yes?
Yes.
How did it go?
Well, I still have my hands. I still have my
and
arms.
no burns,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, but they were a lot of fun. Thank you.
Did you get to wear a chef's hat?
No, but I had an apron.
That's good. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night. Okay.
This is 27 News First at 6.
He says it will put unemployed Americans back to work. President Obama uses a Kentucky bridge to push for his jobs bill.
It's become a prime target for thieves, but how much is the copper in AC units actually worth? What a 27 News First investigation found out.
One person is dead after a home explodes in Stanton. 27 News First at 6 starts now.
Good evening to you, and thanks for being here with us. Smoke and flames shot high into the air. An explosion leveled a central Kentucky home, killing one person and leaving 2 others badly injured.
Firefighters from several counties rushed to a home on Paint Creek Road near Stanton in Powell County after the explosion this morning. The fire caused by the blast is still burning hours after the blast. Officer Don got this exclusive video from 27 Sky First. Melissa Adazadi talked to neighbors who watched the horrific scene unfold. It's our top story at 6.
Scattered brick and window paints are all that is left of a house after an explosion levels it to the ground, killing one person inside. It was a blast that could be heard from miles away.
I was in my house and I just all I heard was a boom, and I woke up and I was like, what in the world?
And a rumble that mimicked an earthquake.
We heard it was like an earthquake on my house. We were in the house and everything moved here.
Vicki Hatton lives next door. She didn't want to go on camera, but she did describe for us what she saw when she ran outside to see what caused the massive explosion.
You know, we went to see what was going on, and that's whenever we saw the house was gone and the roof was down on it.
And Hatton says she realized very quickly that she couldn't see the house because it was no longer there.
Oh, you couldn't see. You couldn't see the house. It was just mostly dust, you know, and the flames. That was it.
But she did see one thing.
The ambulance took 2 out.
Took 2 out.
That's all we saw.
Those 2 people were the only survivors of the blast. They were airlifted to UK Hospital with critical injuries. Another person was trapped inside and unable to get out. Those close to the family tell us it was an elderly man who lived at the home. Witnesses at the scene say the blast was caused by a propane tank. Crews from 5 different counties were out here earlier today trying to fight the fire. They say they will be out here for a few hours to try to figure out what exactly happened. In Stanton, Melissa Adazadi, WKYT 27 News First.
We will have a follow-up story tonight on News First at 11. The names of those victims have not been released so far, and authorities say they're still investigating what caused the explosion.
He called it an example of why his jobs bill should be passed in Congress. President Obama stood in front of an aging bridge linking Cincinnati and northern Kentucky today and targeted two prominent Republicans. The Brent Spence Bridge crosses between the home turfs of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky and House Speaker John Boehner of Ohio. Our Andy Cunningham was the only Lexington reporter in Cincinnati to cover the president's visit.
With the Brent Spence Bridge as his backdrop, the president came here with a confident message. This Jobs Act bill will pass, and this bridge in particular will receive the attention it so desperately needs.
And it's in such poor condition that it's been labeled functionally obsolete.
Just 2 weeks after addressing Congress about the American Jobs Act bill that would spur new jobs and repair the nation's aging infrastructure like the Brent Spence Bridge, President Obama brought his plan to our own backyard.
There is work to be done, and there are workers ready to do it. So let's tell Congress to pass this jobs bill right away.
Calling it one of the most important interstate bridges in the country, Brent Spence, designed to carry 85,000 vehicles a day, now carries more than 160,000.
It's a little bit alarming just because the bridge is so old and outdated.
Sarah Little makes the 1-hour commute from Lexington to Cincinnati nearly every day for work, crossing the very bridge the president calls functionally obsolete.
My biggest concern would just be that there's nowhere to go if you break down or have an accident, and I've, certainly had near misses with accidents on the bridge myself.
And Little says she supports the president's bill or anything that will make her commute from Lexington to Cincinnati a safer one. From downtown Cincinnati, Andy Cunningham, WKYT 27 News First.
Before his speech, the president met with Governor Beshear and Senator Rand Paul to talk about the Sherman-Minton Bridge in Louisville. That bridge closed a few weeks ago after a crack was found in a support beam.
A woman facing a reckless homicide charge for the death of a young girl has turned herself in. Julie Reese's family says she didn't know she had a warrant for her arrest until seeing the story on 27 News First at noon. Reese is the godmother of 12-year-old Sierra Hubbard, who died in June after being run over by a van in Lexington. Police say Hubbard was walking by the van as Reese drove it. As Hubbard tried to get in, police say she fell into the van's path. The coroner says she died of blunt force trauma.
Well, we had a break today from the rain and dreary weather, but don't expect it to last long. Chief Meteorologist T.G. Shuck joins us now with an early look at your forecast.
Yeah, did being the collective word here, because we've already had a few isolated showers, which was expected given the fact that that frontal system is still around the area. But we will pick up the coverage and begin to cool things down, it looks like, into Friday. Live First Alert Defender still seeing that cluster of showers and storms down across southern Kentucky, but other than that, looking pretty quiet. The isolated cells here in the metro area beginning to weaken out. Pretty good finish to the final day of summer with sunshine around, but some heavy rain still in between Barberville and Williamsburg and back around Monticello. That moisture streaming up from the south. You see a larger area of rain back across parts of western Indiana and southern Illinois, and the clouds more scattered about, but I really think those are going to increase a little later on in the evening. Temperatures, again, for the final day of summer, pretty good. 77 Lexington, Frankfort, 77 in Jackson, 75 down in London. That cooler air not far off, and it may hang a while because of that upper low heading this direction. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
All right, we'll see you then, TG. Thank you. A group of repairmen spent much of the day at a church hit hard by copper thieves. Pat Jewett with heating and air fixed the damage at BEREA Christian Church in Lexington. Last weekend, thieves tried to take copper from an air conditioning unit by pulling it off its foundation. That damaged the unit itself and the church building as well. Jewett says copper thieves have kept his workers busy this summer.
We've been covered up. We had 14 businesses in 2 complexes there in Georgetown and McMeekin Plaza that they either took copper off of them or took the whole unit and just tore it apart. So we had to replace everything on those.
Heating and air workers say it typically costs thousands of dollars to repair damage to an AC unit.
Many church leaders, business owners, and homeowners have had to pay that huge repair bill lately. Police say that copper thieves go after AC units thinking they can get a lot of money from what's inside. But is that copper just fool's gold? We wanted to see for ourselves just how much money copper in an AC unit is really worth. Dave Spencer has the results in a 27 News First investigation.
The sound of a functioning air conditioner, it seems to be music to a copper thief's ears. It's such a common occurrence, in fact, we wanted to know, 1, how the copper thief does it, and 2, how much money they're getting for that copper.
But there's 2 screws to hold this piece on.
Tony Chapman is in the AC repair business.
Then they'll take this piece here.
Today and
they'll take it somewhere else and cut the strips off of it.
Taking one apart.
You should have timed this.
To show us how in 5 minutes or less, your air conditioner can go from fully functional to a major drain on your wallet.
To replace the unit, you're talking about $3,000.
He's done a lot of replacing this summer. His work at churches where air conditioners are destroyed for metal has doubled compared to last year.
Major repairs, so you're talking about above $10,000.
While the owner of these ACs are stuck with the bill, this little more than a handful here is all the copper Chapman says the thieves get in return, leaving the owners with a useless mess and a phone call to make.
Then they'll ask us, their number one question is, well, how much money do they get out of that?
We have the same question. Loaded up in the back of this van is everything a copper thief is after once they see your air conditioner. Now we're going to take it to a scrapyard and see what it's all worth. With the van loaded with scrap metal, we headed over to a local scrapyard. Once there, the metal was put into a wheelbarrow and weighed. In order to get paid for our scrapped metal, they asked for a photocopy of a valid ID. After that, we took our receipt to a cashier and got the money. For a grand total of $3,000 worth of damage, we got $11.80 in profit. The scrapyard was paying $2.95 a pound that day, and we had 4 pounds of copper. And police tell me in most cases, the small money that they do get from this air conditioner goes to support a drug habit, and the threat of getting only a misdemeanor is not acting as a deterrent. In Lexington, Dave Spencer, WKYT, 27 News First.
Unbelievable, $11. Well, we should note that the scrapyard that we visited in that story did nothing wrong in buying our scrap metal. The company made a copy of a valid ID, which is required by Kentucky law.
10 years after his trial ended in a hung jury, a man now faces new charges for a deadly dorm fire. The Callaway grand jury indicted 35-year-old Jerry Walker on manslaughter, arson, assault, and wanton endangerment charges. Investigators say Walker set a fire at a Murray State University dorm in 1998. That fire killed 19-year-old student Michael Minger. Police say an in-depth review of the case last year led to the indictment. A motion has been filed to dismiss charges against an Eastern Kentucky school district, the superintendent, and a football coach. The charges stem from an alleged hazing incident at Jenkins Independent last fall. Investigators say Superintendent Debbie Watts and football coach Larry Maggard did not report the incident. The judge said today he wanted to review the case more before ruling if the charges should be dismissed.
A Kentucky attorney connected to a high-profile case has lost his law license. Find out why the state Supreme Court disbarred him.
And later, the developers trying to reopen Kentucky Kingdom say they won't be able to do it next year, what they say is causing that delay.
Now, 27 First Alert weather.
Well, nice change of pace on this Thursday here in central and eastern Kentucky. It's good to see that sunshine back around the area. Unfortunately, it's not going to last long, kind of clouding up in spots this afternoon, and even a few scattered showers and storms, especially across southern Kentucky. Had a little bit of activity early here in the Lexington area, at least within the last few hours. Live First Alert Defender, see that cluster that developed over the northern part of Tennessee, and it is slowly drifting off to the north and northeast. And down around Williamsburg and parts of Whitley County, and now more so south side of Barberville and into southern Knox County. A couple of heavier cells. You see the brighter colors there, and some thunder and lightning with that, maybe even some small hail just to the east of the interstate, and then stretching up into the western part of Clay County, and a few scattered showers southwest of Somerset and around Monticello there in Wayne County. Another area of rain on the backside of that boundary in the cooler air, and a lot of thick cloud cover associated coincided with that, but we'll continue to see at least just scattered clouds, although with those storms down across southern Kentucky, maybe more overcast there. 77 Lexington, same story there in Jackson, also over to Frankfort, 75, London, 73 in Somerset. But look back to the west, underneath the clouds and rain, only in the 60s, and that's what we're looking at for the day tomorrow. 57 to start, but how about it? With that full sun this morning, really spiked our temperatures up in a hurry, and that front lagging back to the west just a bit, so that allowed us to reach all the way to 80 for the afternoon high, 77 and 55, the average high and low. But this front will finally get a kick eastward, a little secondary boundary and wave kind of scooting on through here, so that's going to mean some additional rain possible overnight and into the day tomorrow. It looks like the best organized stuff should come early in the day, but even east of Lexington could hang in with a few scattered showers during the afternoon as well. Maybe a few peaks of sunshine, and that's pretty much going to be the drill through the upcoming weekend. That upper low by this time tomorrow will be off to our northwest, and it will drift eastward in the coming days. Still a possibility of a few isolated showers for tailgating, but a lot of this stuff will begin to diminish each and every evening, so that will bode well for that 7 o'clock kickoff out of Commonwealth. Just cloudy, kind of coolish, 64 at kickoff, falling down just a few degrees, especially if it stays overcast during the course of the game. So that'll be good football weather for you as we welcome fall tomorrow. It's going to feel like it. Mid-60s through the weekend. I think a little better chance for organized rain Sunday, Monday, as that upper low kind of spins through here. We'll see a better chance then, and it'll be out of here by probably Monday night. So Tuesday and beyond, it is looking a whole lot better. So hopefully not a complete washout here. It doesn't appear that way on Saturday. Again, the chances a little more significant, I think, Sunday, Monday.
Not bad for you tailgaters.
Yeah.
Pretty manageable.
Keep the rain and keep it out of the way.
And it's not going to be overly cold. I mean, to add insult to injury, if it was chilly, it would be even worse. But I think we'll do okay.
That's coming later.
Yeah, it will.
Let's not talk about it yet.
Okay.
Well, the city needs your help decorating downtown Lexington for Christmas.
Their request ahead on News First at 6. A Lexington attorney who worked on the class action lawsuit over the diet drug Fen-Phen has been permanently disbarred.
The Kentucky Supreme Court revoked David Helmer's law license today, citing, quote, serious ethical violations. Helmer's worked as an associate at William Gallion's law firm. Gallion, along with Shirley Cunningham Jr., are serving federal sentences after being convicted of bilking their clients out of millions from the Fen-Phen settlements. Developers trying to reopen a closed Kentucky amusement park have pushed back their target date by a year. Those developers say so far they have not been able to put together a public-private partnership needed to reopen Kentucky Kingdom. They're now shooting for 2013 instead of next year. Developers are also hoping the state will put up $20 million to help get the park open again.
A traffic alert if you're planning to go to a busy Lexington shopping center tonight. The main entrance of Lexington Green on Nicholasville Road has closed for some work. Mall officials have placed message boards in the area to remind shoppers. The main entrance is expected to reopen at 6 tomorrow morning. The back entrance to Lexington Green across from Fayette Mall is still open tonight. Do you have a large tree that would look good decked out in lights and decorations? Lexington city officials want to hear from you. The city wants 3 evergreen trees to be used around downtown as Christmas trees. They'll be placed at Triangle Park, in front of the KU building, and at 3rd and Midland. The trees will be removed at no cost to you. For more information on how you can do that, log on to our web channel, WKYT.com. It still seems a long way off from the holidays and Christmas, Amber, but you got to think ahead on these things, I guess.
We will blink and it will be here.
Yes.
Well, we certainly hope this wasn't the case, but Brian, the Cats are a huge underdog against the Gators.
Yeah. Close to 3 touchdowns, and it should be that way. The Cats have not beaten those reptiles in a generation, but there is more than just a streak, which is worth mentioning. There's another much more positive streak to talk about. Sports is next. It's been a good news, bad news kind of week for the football Cats. The bad news, the Cats are coming off a loss to Louisville, only to have to face Florida this weekend. The good news, Joker Phillips says his Cats are having a great week of practice. Back to the bad news. Phillips saying defensive end Collins Ukwu could miss Saturday's game with the Gators. Ukwu has a sprained knee and will need an MRI. But Phillips delivering some good news again today. Linebacker and All-American candidate Danny Trevathan was back in practice and will play against the Gators. Trevathan sat out yesterday's workout with an assortment of bumps and bruises. The SEC's leading tackler has a streak of 12 consecutive games with double-digit tackles.
So it dates back to a lot of really good opponents. For a guy that's doing that, I mean, it's very impressive. And, you know, we need him to make more. You know, I hate to say it, but we need him to make more. But he's definitely doing his part as far as making plays and leading also.
It's been a good news, bad news type of sportscast. Let's go back to the bad news. The Gators come to Lexington a 20-point favorite and with one of the league's top-rated defenses. The Cats all say they need to get out of the gate quickly. One area the Cats look comfortable is in their hurry-up offense, which surprises even their coach.
I have no idea, because the one thing we've done poorly in practice is the 2-minute. It has been, you know, and that's I got no explanation for it, because we haven't done very well in the 2-minute drill, and we go in the game and done decent. And I shouldn't say decent, really well. Scored a couple of times.
Friday evening, we will be at Fan Outfitters in Hamburg. A limited number of collectibles for the Florida game will be available beginning at 5 o'clock, and you can get them at both Fan Outfitter locations. Hope to see you there tomorrow. The UK women have released their basketball TV schedule, and the Cats will make 9 national television appearances this season. 4 of those games will appear on the ESPN family of networks, including a matchup at Notre Dame on December 18th and a February matchup at Mississippi State. Fox Sports will televise a pair of games, as will Comcast Sports South. Additional game times and the UK IMG TV schedule will be announced at a later date. If it weren't for bad news, the Bengals probably wouldn't be in the news at all. 2 Bengals are the center of an investigation dealing with marijuana. Police confiscated a package containing 2.5 pounds of marijuana at the home of Bengals receiver Jerome Simpson. Another Bengal, Anthony Collins, was also at the home when a woman accepted the package, which came from California. Police searched the house and discovered 6 more pounds of pot, as well as drug paraphernalia. The players were detained but not arrested, and they did practice on Wednesday. That's a look at sports. We will be right back.
Well, TG, this is not how we like to see our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday setting up, for sure.
Yeah, the timing could be better. Today was nice because we had that sunshine out there, although we've already seen a few scattered showers here in the Lexington area and down south. But with that upper low moving in, more clouds probably than sunshine, and a little cooler. But we'll see some improvement in the next week.
Looks like the Secret Service, except for Amber, arrived here, these dark suits.
Exactly.
Got your piece in your ear.